Hey guys, Sunday, June 30th, 2024, Nat Gas. Let's do our forecast for the week. We're going to be covering cycles, Elliott wave, master chart, some geometry, and end up with our, normal charts, how we analyze the key levels and potential areas for selling and buying. So without any further delay, let's get into it. So we are on our weekly chart, and you already know my style. I like to narrow in and focus in on where we at and where can we be going. So the weekly cycle, the most important cycle here that I'm leaning on is the 228 cycle, which is this one right here. This one hit a trough of around maybe April 2nd, around there, April 9th. And this cycle goes up all the way to May 25th of 2026. This is where it gets toppy or hits a peak. And this could fluctuate, but just know that as of now, that ballpark is somewhere around May of next year. Within this cycle going up, there is some dominant cycle, which is this waves down here. And that dominant cycle is 26. And that cycle hits a trough somewhere around August the 12th. So a couple of things here to think about. If it's going to be bullish for this year and next year, it's not going to go to the moon. There's going to be some back and forth if it's going to follow this. So we know that we somewhere within a wave 3, maybe working a wave 4, going up to do a wave 5, maybe test this high. If that doesn't play out and this is a 1 going into a 2 and then do a 3, this will probably confirm that, which will lead us into August. We know July is in regards to seasonality, July is weak on nat gas. And August kind of has a little turning point somewhere between, the last week of July and maybe August. That's where we kind of see this rally or it kind of starts grinding higher. So this could be potentially 1, 2, and then maybe 3. But I want you to remember August, especially around August 12th, 2024, just in case this wave 4 doesn't play out, or if it does, hits a wave 5 and then pulls back. That is very potential for, maybe an ABC correction into August. But this is the dominant cycle indicating us that there could be some still potential downside into August. So that's what I wanted to make clear, just in case you're like, what happened? Why we're not rallying? It's hot and whatever. This could be a potential curveball for more downside into August. And then once August, as of now, the 12th, around there, it starts rallying, it will continue with the weekly cycle. Let's now go into the daily and see what's cooking there. In regards to the daily cycle, I like to use 5 years. Let's expand that here. And the daily cycle has a dominant or a regular cycle that I'm using is the 256. The dominant cycle on the daily using a 5 year, it's 76. So the 256 cycle is going up and it hits a peak somewhere around July the 30th. Once around July the 30th, it gets a little toppy. So if this is a wave 3, so we got our 1, 2, 3. We're working on a 4 now. And if it's going to be a wave 5, this makes sense somewhere around here. Maybe test that high. But 4 to 5, and then maybe the daily cycle will probably pull it back. This is August. Remember August, where it gets, where the dominant cycle, 26 bottoms out, and then it goes up. And we know the weekly cycles are up, but the weekly dominant cycle is down. So this is kind of very tricky. We got to see what nat gas is going to do from here. But the dominant cycle here on the daily using a 5 year is 76. And this one hits a trough around July 4th. So I've been having that on my radar the first week of July. for just in case turnaround off this wave 4 that it's still working on from here, push higher and end on the wave 5 somewhere around here. Maybe double top, maybe test these. I don't know. We'll see if that's going to play out. And then we hit a peak, and then this cycle goes down on the daily. So it could be, you know, and then maybe from here it could be your, you know, a ABC or working on your wave 2 to do a wave 3. So it's all kind of tricky here, but just know that we're going to be hitting a trough around the first week of July and looking for a wave 4 to work on a wave 5 somewhere around the last week of July. Hey guys, so this is seasonality that I like to watch, percent of months in which nat gas closed higher than it opened from 2020 to 2024. Using a 5-year, you can see that pretty much July is pretty strong and August is super strong. So remember the seasonality cycles I mentioned on the weekly, the dominant cycle, the 26, where it hits a trough down. Just in case it was going to continue pushing lower. This one is the opposite. So in regards to seasonality, August is strong. It was probably the strongest within 5 years. So this is the opposite of what I told you. So that's why when you do analysis, sometimes things will go against each other. You just have to be aware and be, I don't know, in a weird way, be double-minded. Be like, okay, seasonality, you know, we could potentially pop. And that spectrum cycle, dominant cycle of 26 hitting a trough may not play out. So just be aware of that also. I'm showing you all the views. It's just, you just have to have, you know, an open mind and just be aware of all the possibilities, all the probabilities. We're not stuck in one narrow view and this is the way it is. No, we're showing you all the views and you pick whatever you think is best according to your strategy and your risk management. This is more data. This channel is pretty much more data driven. And sometimes I chime in my opinion, but sometimes I'm wrong. But the data is the data. And you just have to, you know, decide to believe it, take it, or just, you know, do what you want to do. But I digress. July week. This is what I've been leaning on, that we're going to have a week seasonality here. And then you can see August pops within 10 years. August is a strong month. So I'm leaning that maybe we do some kind of low in July, maybe that first week, you know, July 2nd, 3rd. That's our wave 4. And then we go into a wave 5 into August. But then the cycle guys would be like, well, no, you know, the weekly cycle, dominant cycle hits a trough August 12th. But you still could be in that ballpark where it still rallies just in case that's going to play out. So just be a little flexible. But the good thing is that the weekly cycles are up. The daily cycles are going to hit a peak somewhere around July, last week of July. And seasonality wise, July we're low. So this could be your nice little rally into August if that's going to play out. 15 years still shows that July is weak. So that June 11th high, you know, of 315. Now we're going into this July weakness, possible wave 4, according to the Elliott wave theory. And still, you know, your wave 5 works out in August because it's strong. Not using 15 years of data. 20 years, July still weak. Even 20 years, it's just stair stepping down. Wave 4, possible wave 5, or maybe continuing on a big wave 5 into October. I don't know. We'll see. We'll take baby steps. I'll take the July weakness and pop in August. But that's what seasonality is showing us, which is different from spectrum cycle analysis. Here, this is another seasonality chart I like to watch and see and analyze. So we did our high on June the 11th of 315, have been pulling back. We're somewhere around 260 around there, 250, I don't know, around 260-ish. I could be wrong, but we're hovering around there. And then this is July. So in theory, it says that July is weak. Using this chart, it indicates that July between the 1st and 3rd, it gets a rally higher. So if you're a swing trader and Elliott wave theory is indicating a possible wave 4, this could potentially play out between the first week of July, have a wave 4 into a wave 5. Looking back, we made a high on June 11th, seasonality wise on average. 5-year average, it makes a high or a turning point on June 11th. So this pretty much worked out right to the date. So it looks like there was a high here on May 22nd. We did that here. We pulled back. So we've been following this average. We made a higher high and pulled back. So now the question remains, are we going to turn around July the 3rd? That remains to be seen. We don't know yet, but using probability and a 5-year average of seasonality could play out. What you got to wait for is price action to confirm it. Don't go ahead and just start buying on July the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd and hope for the best. No, you want to see it do a reversal and start making higher highs and higher lows to get in. But if you're risky and you know what you're doing, you could probably get in and, put your stops very close. I mean, you should be putting your stops just in case you're wrong. And the August 12th is going to continue to play out. We're going to continue to go lower. That is very possible using spectrum cycle analysis. So I'm showing you all the probabilities, all the views using the different theories and different techniques so you can make a good, educated, data-driven decision in regards to what your plans are with nat gas. So far, this is what it's indicating. And if you're a swing trader, if this will play out, this could be nice because you could potentially ride this wave higher into a wave 5, maybe, testing the highs that we did October the 27th of 363. I'm just guessing. Nothing written in stone. Using a 10-year average, you see that it does make the same thing around July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and then it starts grinding higher to around July the 3rd. Using a 15-year average, same thing. Something is going on around July 1st all the way to the 3rd where things could potentially be a turning point, grinding higher. So to recap, if this plays out, this could be your wave 4 right here, somewhere in this ballpark. So if it continues here, into a wave 5. Now, if it doesn't play out, and we're going to continue grinding lower, maybe somewhere in August, July, there could be a turning point somewhere around here. But seasonality-wise, it's showing it early. But you know how it is. Sometimes it doesn't rhyme, doesn't do it exactly, but rhyme. So maybe somewhere in here and then go. Maybe it's a little later. But just know that price action is king. Just wait for the reversal. Wait for it to tell you that it could probably happen and not just assume that it's going to do it. Here, it just, it did it exactly. That doesn't happen a lot, but it did do it. So, depends how you want to play ball. If you want to be risky, yeah, you could do that here and short it or, locked in profits, start shorting. But, once you see the reversal happening, yeah, you could get in or wait for a retrace and then get in and ride this wave down. So that's what seasonality indicates here. So this is the weekly chart on nat gas using Elliott wave theory. So we have our wave 5, 1, 2, 3. It's not really indicating that this is a wave 3. So I'm kind of on the sidelines on this. But if it is, then this is a wave, potential wave 4 would be anywhere between 254 all the way to 236, potential wave 4 targets. Now, in regards to buy zones, there's a buy zone. If it gets down there to 246, there's another one here at 235, and the last one is around 214. You got the 50 SMA right here at 250 that could potentially bring buyers to defend this area and bounce. But just in case it doesn't, you got some lower levels just in case for another area of support where it could potentially bounce. Seasonality-wise, June the 28th, pop, pull back around the 5th, and then around July the 12th, things start rallying up. This is all using probability, and this all remains to be seen. But this is what it's kind of forecasting in regards to seasonality, this green line. Let's see. Anything else? Stokes, kind of toppy, crossed over, but nothing. You know, it could probably remain in this area because we still got to work on a wave 5, which is on the weekly anywhere between 348. So let's see how that plays out. On the daily, we got a 1, 2, 3, and we got an A, B, C, and it looks like it's a wave 4 somewhere around here, but I don't think, maybe it could push it a little lower, maybe it turns around. Seasonality wise, maybe the first week, that could be the reversal, but like I'm stressing, wait for the reversal to happen. Turning points here with seasonality, June the 27th, 2nd, and then the 8th from here, seasonality wise, it rallies. Buy zones would be 256, sell zones will be 254 and 246. You got the 50 SMA around 245. If ever it gets down there, they could be potential buyers, and my little crosses here saying that just in case there is no bounce in the first week of July or at all in July, if we take over, we cross below 248 and 221 and 211, all this is going to get void. And there could be a potential where August 12th could probably play out of a more deeper correction. And that will line up with the weekly dominant cycle, which is 26, which bottoms out around August 12th. That means that nat gas will continue going back and down until August. Let's say this is the 12th, and then from here maybe turn. So that's the worst case scenario. Just putting it out there. That way you're not too excited. There's no turnaround, and it continues going lower. But if it does turn here, and Elliott wave theory is correct, you know, confirming it, and seasonality saying, yeah, we could get a bounce on the first week of July, and it turns around here, or maybe a little deeper into July, you got a potential wave 5 around 361. Let's put some of linear regression channel. You can see that this is the area that I'm watching right here. It could hold somewhere around 238. These are targets, 242, 239, all the way to 236. So this is a nice little sweet spot. You got the 50 SMA right here creeping up. And this could probably get down here and then rally. And this is your July 3rd, July 4th in regards to timing. So it's all around here. So if it gets here, that could potentially play out. The ellipse technique, I could say it worked because, you know, the volatility increased and pushed lower. You got one all the way down here. And the ellipse technique says around July 4th, volatility could potentially increase. So it could get a little crazy here, and maybe it could spike up. But that all remains to be seen. Fibonacci levels, you got your 256 area, your midpoint, it's 238. So those are levels you want to keep an eye on. And using the, I guess I have here the Gann box. This was your 45 and 90 day that lined up. And we cracked that, so we have to remove all these now and put new ones. So the Gann box, let's see if I could do this in real time. From our low of February 20th, you can see that now this is an area you want to watch right here. The key level, which is 247. And you're below this angle, so you got 247, and then you got this one coming up right here. So I'm going to remove this so I won't confuse it, because some people, it could get tricky with the eyes, but I'm used to all this stuff, so I've been doing this for a long time. We'll put a more fractal box from the impulse wave. You can see from right here. That's your 45 day here. We'll extend that out. You can see this line right here is your 1x1. And this is your 45-day. So let's see if this right here, this level right here is 253. So this is a nice little sweet spot. You got your midpoint here. Now, I don't know if it's the midpoint. I got to look at the chart. But yeah, you got a turning point here potentially with the 45. And you got your 1x1 coming in here. So it could potentially be a sweet spot here for a turning point. You'll be watching for these angles, the 1x2, the 1x3, or maybe stalling and maybe pushing higher to do your wave 5. So that's what the Gann box is saying. Let's get rid of that. And I think that's it for this chart. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this is the last chart. I don't make this video too long, but you kind of get the theme and what is cooking in my head. There's a lot of probabilities, but there are some things that if it plays out, it plays out. You just got to be alert. Put your alerts to let you know, and just take it from there. Looking at our monthly, you can see it's like an inverted hammer in regards to candles. There's some key levels here. Let's zoom in a little more. You got the point of control, which is 249, and we failed already 271. So this is a key level you want to keep an eye on the monthly. On the weekly, we already are kissing the point of control, which is 259 and 262. So there's a lot of price action here. So this is pretty much the midpoint. Point of control is see if we hold here and the bulls defend this so we could rally wave 4 into wave 5, which could potentially be that's a value high of 330. You can see that we failed our anchored VWAP here. You can see volume. The bears have had control of it. The trend is still up because the candles are white. On the monthly, the volume is green. On the daily, you see that we failed the point of control, which was a 265. Above anchored VWAP, value area low is 236, and there's even one around 219, but we failed this. We put our Andrews pitchfork here. You can see that we fail this angle, and we fail this over here too. So now we're entering this area right here from this Andrews pitchfork. And let's see if there's going to be any support in any of these angles. But so far, this one failed. Let's go into our simple glance chart. We're somewhere around here. We're probably going to close within the monthly candle and in the mobile bands. MACD is still positive. On the weekly, we got a PPS sell signal now, and we fail or close below the point of control, which is 262. MACD is still negative, so they could probably, if it doesn't bounce here, it could potentially maybe go deeper onto the weekly. It gets oversold, but that's me speculating. You got the 50 SMA right here at 250. You got the 20 all the way down at 212. And looking at the daily, PPS sell signal failed the point of control. This is the area that I'm interested to see if we're going to have a wave 4. And you got your 50, you got your 200 SMA, you got the linear regression channel, you're above the cloud. This is probably the sweet spot right here, and that's around 247, you could say 250, anywhere around there. It might not even get to kiss it, but if it does, I'm sure some people are going to find this as a discount dollar store area right here. You got your value area low around 247, and the MACD is still negative. We'll look at the volume real quick, and you can see in regards to volume that the bears have been in control for the last 3 days, the last trading days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So that's showing a lot, and we cracked the mobile band, so it looks like it's heading down there. And if it continues, you got an area right here you want to watch is 237, and also this area right here, 224. That's just worst case scenario. In regards to this, and this is a non-log chart, so it shows you a different view. We just cracked this, so we couldn't even hold this angle. So this Andrews pitchfork, we could probably get rid of it because I don't think it's going to be climbing up there anytime soon unless it's going to take a while. So we could remove that to get things a little cleaner. We could leave maybe these two for now. Let's see. Channel. We're in this channel right now. We failed this one. And in regards to FT levels, the closest one would be 239 and 238. That's the next one. We fail these key levels here. I call these the DNA of nat gas. 1027 high. First impulse, we're already at the 25%, which is 258. So this is an area you want to keep an eye on. These are the Gann grids I had. This is a 3-5 high. We already failed the 1 by 1. So it's already, stair stepping on a scale chart and on a non-scale chart using the impulse wave. We fail this, but here is kind of where on a scale chart, it either has a hole or it's going to crack. Yeah, we failed. We failed that one too. And let's see, anything else? You could say trend lines. Yep, hasn't even failed this angle from right here. You got this big one coming up. And measured moves, we're in that area where it could be potentially turning point. Area 256 all the way to 255. If it goes below that, then it already passed all the measured moves and it's going to probably continue going even lower. I think that's it. Let's go into our midpoint chart and see what's cooking there. Well, PPS sell signal on the weekly. Stokes are unwinding. This is a potential area of support using the yearly chart, 255. Let's see if that's going to hold. Mobiles are still positive. So it's indicating maybe a potential wave 4. Looking at our daily chart, it's already negative. Stokes are down. It's kind of early to tell, but yeah, you got the low of 257 of last month. So let's see if this area holds. And on the 4-hour, you can see that this rally that they had was a bear trap because Mobo was telling you don't fall for it, don't buy, just wait for it, and it kissed the 50 moving average, and they pounced and they pushed it lower. And this is the area I was telling you about, the 45, 90 degree count, not 90, no, 45 and 90 calendar day. Things are lining up. The ellipse technique was telling you this is where volatility was going to increase, and we got it right there. Now, can it continue going lower? These are the levels coming up. What is this? Yeah, for Sunday. So yeah, we'll see between 252 all the way to 245. For the week, you got 272 is the line in the sand for you. If we could get up there, maybe that's when our maybe seasonality is going to start kicking in. But this is the line in the sand right here for the week. If we could get at least above 272. If not, these are targets to the downside. And on our hourly chart for Sunday open, Monday, this is your midpoint, 267. So could it potentially bounce over there? Yeah, this is the line in the sand for Monday only. Monday statistically is a down day, so be careful for any bull traps. Targets to the downside, extreme targets would be 255 all the way to 250. So statistically, if it's going to play out, maybe in the overnight session, they'll bounce it, but they're going to make sure they at least protect, the bears will protect at least 267, maybe even 270 if it really wants to push higher. But if they're going to push it and statistically they're going to line up, this is where they're going to probably get you. So be careful on the overnight session. and into the US session. Yep, so this is it for me. Lastly, we closed, or we put a low around 259, around there. That's what that is. Let's look at that. Yeah, 259, of high of 276. So we went as low as over here, and we went as high as 276. And we closed at 260, which is here. So it's going to probably be between 257, 265, and 273. It's probably going to be in this range, maybe for this week, unless, we break out July 2nd or 3rd. But if they're going to push lower, 249 to 257, that could probably be your area, even 241, pretty much this whole area. But keeping in mind the 253, and even the 255, anywhere in this area, just keep an eye out. Well, I've given you a lot of information. Hopefully you can digest it. I know it's data analysis overload, but you can make a good guess and a good speculation of what could probably play out. Just remember, price action is key. This is not trading advice. This is just the stuff I do on a daily basis to get an edge, to get an understanding, looking at the big picture, and then just kind of, deciding once I see an opportunity in a trade, and then pull the trigger and then put my stop and see just what happens. Because we're dealing with probabilities. I'm going to sign out. Hope you like this video. Let me know your comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you made it to this far. Let me know what you think is going to happen. Are we going to continue pushing lower? Are we sniffing out a turning point right now? Are we doing a wave 5, in August? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. You guys are the pros out there. You guys are the Elliott guys, the Gann guys. You're, buying over the 20, selling, at the 50. You let me know, what do you think? What do you think could play out this week? Is the July 4th, July 3rd seasonality going to play out? Does it look like it makes sense? I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to sign out, and enjoy your loved ones, your family, whatever you do on Sunday, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on that gas.